The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Welcome to the Support Local Everything podcast, a podcast of the Upward Niagara Chamber of Commerce. I'm Chamber President Jennifer Pauley, and we had quite a weekend throughout the region. This past weekend was the Summer of '69 concert at Academy Park with the Lewiston Council on the Arts. There was a huge soccer tournament in the village of Youngstown. So many things happening. And then on a personal note, it was my second daughter, Ava, her graduation party in our backyard for 125 of our closest friends and family. And I just have to say a special thank you to our member, Brett, from Brett's Tents and Awning. Wonderful job. He came out with his crew earlier last week before the rain and wind came, set up our tent, delivered our tables and chairs. Brett came personally and delivered our linens on Saturday morning, and the graduation party was such a success. And I always use Brett for all of our events that the chamber hosts, and he is just wonderful. They came yesterday morning, Sunday morning by 11 o'clock, took down the tent. Guess where the tent is now? Ready for the Porter Cup at Niagara Falls Country Club. So Brett and his crew are truly one of a kind. They take care of all of our needs for the chamber, and just a special little shout out to him. If you need a tent or tables and chairs, consider Brett and his crew. I'll be seeing them in just a few short weeks as we prepare for the Northwest Jazz Festival in Lewiston on August 23rd and 24th. Brett's crew is out at 6 o'clock in the morning helping us set up the big jewelry tent, our sponsor tent, and some of our vendor tents as well as all of the tables and chairs found throughout that festival. So, see you in a little bit, Brett. But we are here today with our special guest, Sue MacNaughton, who is the owner of Everything Youngstown, and we are so happy to have you here. If you have never been to Everything Youngstown, well then shame on you. It is such a great store, a little shop right in the heart of the village of Youngstown, right on Main Street, 435 Main Street, and this is kind of, Everything Youngstown is a little bit of everything Youngstown. So Sue, thanks for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about what somebody could find as soon as they walk into your shop doors.
Well, we keep on changing our product. Again, with Everything Youngstown, our main focus was on labeling and branding Youngstown. We're a small community, but we have a lot of folks that have come from there and always want a little piece of Youngstown to take with them. And of course, we have visitors coming by. Have tons of people coming in from Youngstown, Ohio, that get a real hoot out of having a Youngstown, New York shirt or something. But we're more than a t-shirt shop. We realize that we're in a small community. There isn't a lot of various shopping experiences for our local folks. So we're more like a mercantile. So we have gifts, we have some treats. So we have a variety, and we have fun changing it up.
Yes, There's a little bit of everything. And I love what you said. There's branded merchandise. Mm-hmm. There definitely is. If you love Youngstown, Everything Youngstown is the place to find everything from a mug to a t-shirt to a hat to, just about anything. But gift items as well. And I know you've expanded selection items over the course of the time you've been open, and it changes. So if you've been in recently, come in again, right? Because the inventory changes, and it's something I think you have something for everybody, every age group. You can find something in there. But even more important, you touched on this, is there's a sense of pride for Youngstown, and even more important with Everything Youngstown is the way your mission flows and why you exist for that shop. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, when Leslie and she's a store manager and keeps me on track, when we agreed to do this, we did it because we felt it was the right thing to do for Youngstown. And also we agreed we'd continue to do it as long as we had fun. Okay? And so with those two things, it started us off onto this venture. And being the right thing to do for Youngstown, it was, we're right in the middle of our little Main Street district in a commercial spot, to help populate Main Street. And we found that we have been able to grow a lot of businesses on our Main Street. We're very happy about that. With our product, we try to have a share with our fun. And so, like some of our products, there's a give back program for our Youngstown Volunteer Fire Company. And then another give back program is with our Youngstown Community Sailing Program. You can't say enough for our Youngstown Volunteer Fire Company and how they support the community. And with our community sailing program, it's amazing that the little Youngstown Yacht Club right there in Youngstown puts through like around 360 kids a summer through their programs. And so we love to be a part of that. Just recently, we were a part of the Youngstown Garden Club Planorama. We wanted to know how we could support it, and they were using that program to grow their scholarship program. I think the previous year they went from a $300 scholarship to a $1,000 scholarship.
That's a huge increase.
Huge. So we wanted to help them on that. So for our June month, we said that we would do 10% of our net sales toward their scholarship program. And so working with them, it just felt good. So again, it's working with the groups within the community and having fun doing it.
What a special thing to have dedicated sales to helping the community. It just makes everything, when we say support a local business because the money stays in the community, this is completely 110% true for your business. The money is turned right back around to supporting these local organizations and supporting the community as a whole. And you do have a lot of fun doing it. This mantra is on your wall in the shop, and it's something that you live by every single day. And I know the organizations that you support wholeheartedly appreciate everything that you do, as well as the local businesses that you have really shown support for, the businesses that are right around you. Petey's Treats is one of them. Just down the street, you helped, you kind of helped get them going. They are a seasonal business, but they are thriving on that Main Street, and it's because of the support Everything Youngstown pours into it. Not only do you provide great gifts, a great shop for people to shop in, but you provide the support to your local businesses around you, and that's so important. We really appreciate you doing that.
But bottom line, it's very selfish, because if you have a vibrant business district, everybody wins.
Exactly.
Okay. And also what's been very good is that the businesses that we have all really support the community. For instance, one of the first businesses coming back was our barber shop, and our good old-time barber shop, and it's just so great to have that. Sister and brother coming down there, so we have children's clothing. And of course, our mainstay, and why we're there too, is Youngstown Village Diner. Okay, and then you add Petey's to it. We have organics with all kinds of health products, beauty products that are all natural and everything. But then Apex Fitness, and just some news for you, they're going to be expanding and have a Pilates studio. So everything kind of works. And then we have our beauty salon as well. We have music studios. We have pizzas and gas stations. So every little thing's coming along there.
It does. It all adds to the vibrancy of the village of Youngstown. I would have to say there is no better place to watch a sunset than the village of Youngstown.
I can't argue with you on that. I really can't.
It is so beautiful, especially this time of the year. The colors, everything from purple and blue to a little yellow and red. It's such a beautiful location.
And you know what's fun about in Youngstown, where you are? During the year, of course, the sunset changes its positions.
It does.
And different times of year, it just changes the colors and so on. But it's just always very, whether it's one of those really pale, you know, really, really delightful little sunsets, or just in your eye, fiery afterglow sunsets, you know. It's really beautiful.
So outside of your store, there is something that's a little bit iconic. And, you know, I have to say that this what would you call it, a statue? It's not even a statue. How would you describe?
That's Jake.
Jake out front.
Jake. Did you know the story about Jake?
I don't know the story.
Oh my gosh, it's the best story. This is years ago when I had another store there. It was after my first retirement. Okay. Some friends told me not to call them retirements, call them graduations.
Exactly. There you go.
It, so
appropriate.
have fun for it. But one of my friends, I'm fortunate to have as a friend, is a carver, and also at that time he worked at the Power Authority, and at that time on Lake Erie they had boom logs that were made out of actual logs. Now it's metal. And every now and then, one of those boom logs would break away, and they had to be fished out of the intakes at the Power Authority, and
dispersed out
and then
somewhere.
they were not salvageable anymore.
Right.
But Bill would see a piece of wood and see that he could make something out of it. So he decided to make this, quote, seaman, a doryman in the classic Southwester and everything. And of course his son is a sailor, so he put on the name of it, named it Jake. And unbeknownst to me, one day he came and dropped it off in my front door. I came home from Fort Niagara swimming pool and found Jake
right out front,
watering at my front door. Okay, and so that goes back several years. He's been there a long, long time. Jake has had a couple of misadventures where,
oh no,
where somebody thought it was a great idea to grab Jake
and try to transport him somewhere else. And Jake's not going anywhere. He's always going to find his way back.
And one of his last misadventures was where he wound up in the back of a trunk of a car, and the car was towed in by the police, etc., to Wybert's garage, and they called the Niagara County fingerprints expert and told him that they had a body in the back of the car that he had to fingerprint. And he got there and found Jake. So when Jake was returned, he had fingerprint dust all over him.
Oh my goodness.
So he's had misadventures, but he's also had to have some tune-ups along the way. And if you pay special attention to his mustache, you'll find that it was probably from a vacuum cleaner brush. I think that was from Bill's wife's vacuum cleaner, so anyhow.
Well, you can't miss Jake. Jake is an icon out front of Everything Youngstown, and he adorns the storefront, and every season the storefront is changed out. So you have done everything from highlighting Lewiston seniors, the senior graduates from Lewiston Porter. You've done that for many years. If you haven't seen that, I think you usually start at sometime the end of May, and it runs through the graduation season, and you print out every photo of those senior graduates, and they are hung in your front window. And it's truly a remarkable thing to see, because you take the time and effort to really think through and give a tribute to those seniors. That is just one semblance of your beautiful front window. It's always decorated so tastefully and so beautifully according to the season. It's a highlight.
Thank you. But that wasn't an original idea. I was out to Hood River, Oregon, another small community, for my granddaughter's high school graduation. And walking down their business district, I saw where a storefront had given over their storefront for their senior class and highlighting them. And I thought, what a great idea. I had so much fun finding her photos in that window. So I came back, and Leslie and I talked about it, and we contacted Lewiston Porter, and said, could we possibly do that? And as it was at the time of COVID.
Yes.
And so we've said this is a tradition we want to continue, because there's something about it, like when you're in the store, you'll see people coming along, you'll see families looking for photos. I think one of my sweetest times was overhearing a group of teachers. They were third grade teachers, retired, and had just had lunch at the diner, and they were there looking at the pictures, saying, now I remember him in third grade, and and finding some of the kids from their classes. So it's just a very sweet thing, and we enjoy doing it.
Yes. Well, I know the students love going and finding their photos in that front window. Such a beautiful front window. You have a lot of space there to be able to do some great things with. So that's one of the highlights. But Jake is out there adorning it, watching over. Hopefully there's no other misadventures that happen.
We're hoping. We're hoping.
Fingers crossed there. Fingers crossed. But not only do you, rally other businesses, which Sister and Brother is celebrating 70 years. In July this month, 70 years as a business, of course, handed down from different business owners. But what a testimony to a business, and it's right in the village of Youngstown. 70 years of business. One of your neighbors there,
and Lisa and Mark Leffler have done such a beautiful job with it. And it's something people don't know is Lisa has years of experience working in a children's shoe store. So she's very expert at fitting shoes for children. And I mean, that's something like, as a child, how do you know your shoe is fitting like it should?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And as a parent, you're wanting to do the right thing, but she knows how to do that, takes the time to do things like that, and she's been a great addition on the street.
One of the things that you have taken upon yourself, and I know Leslie helps out with it, and we just do the work of printing it. We don't do anything except print it for you and get it off to you. But you put together a wonderful publication just for the village of Youngstown, the Youngstown newsletter. And it is full of information. It is a labor of love, because it does take time to gather all of that information, make sure it's accurate, get it all together, lay it all out, and tell us a little bit about how that started and how you get everything together just to make that happen.
Well, we did it a little bit from a historical perspective, because eons ago, if you go to the Town of Porter Historical Society Museum over at our Red Brick on Lockport Street, you'll find that there was a Youngstown News at one point in time. And we thought, well, let's bring it back and let's celebrate what's going on in Youngstown. And so it'd be calling up the churches. What are your services? Do you have anything special going on? Do you have a vacation Bible school or a fundraiser, rummage sale, whatever? Checking with the different organizations, the Lions Club, and so on, and gathering that information. And at first, to cover the costs, this is before Everything Youngstown, I got together with two other women in the community, Marge Stratton, who was Dan and Lucy Real Estate at the time, and Quayne Weber, who had another couple of businesses in town. And we called it our self-serving community newsletter, because we didn't charge for it. We self-funded it, and we just advertised our businesses in it, as well as putting the news out. So when we opened up Everything Youngstown, we wanted to bring back the newsletter. And so Leslie says, well, I know how to do this. And so between the two of us, we'd write articles, go out and get the information. And then as a form of exercise we self-distribute it. So got to go around, knock on people's doors, and it's just amazing the number of people who thank us for the newsletter. It's just fun to have that.
It is such a community-driven newsletter, and it does have all of that information that in a village like Youngstown you would want. The church times, the rummage sale times, what time somebody is selling baked goods on the corner, just all of that information that makes a community what it is. And you have captured all of that information. And I'm going to say, you get your exercise going. We print 800 copies. So I know you distribute 800 copies of those newsletters around the village. That is no small feat.
I cheat. I drop a whole bunch of them off at the Youngstown Village Diner.
Oh, those
because
those
that's
get
the
picked
Mecca.
up.
Everybody
Yes.
goes there because the food's so great.
Yes.
And so I cheat on that, you know.
That's
So
okay.
it's fun.
I know that if you want to get any work done in the morning, just go to the Youngstown Diner, sit and eat your breakfast. You'll get it all done. You'll get
Yeah.
it. You'll see everyone you need to, and wrap up everything within an hour. You can go home. Call it a day.
We were teasing with Ken Grulick from Dan and Lucy Wilson Realty. There's this one table where you have a great view out onto the river, and he calls that his real estate office.
Yes.
You know,
What better
that's where he
place?
sells a lot of real estate is from that window.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He's they're neighbors right now with Happy Tales of Niagara right
Yes.
next door, and just a lot of great things have been happening in the village of Youngstown lately.
It is. I have to tell you one other cute story. I think I've told this to you already. I've told everybody, and I'm just so glad to see Happy Tales there. Because, again, going door to door, found out that a lot of households have dogs. And not in a bad way, but, you're going up to a door and they start barking. Well, you don't want to disturb people. I didn't want people to know that I was just hanging a newsletter on their door. I don't want to disturb their dinner or whatever. It's just dropping something by. In fact, one time I was out and it was Thursday night and the Youngstown fire siren went off. And the dogs all started barking, so I started running house to house under the cover of their barking. I knew it wasn't me, it was them. But it was so good to see that Happy Tales is there because we know we have a population that would be really reaching out for them.
Yes, and actually Happy Tales has been doing some really great things with 4 Mile Creek State Park. You don't even think about these things, but this is how businesses expand. The park is right there in the campground, and a lot of those campground attendees have dogs and maybe want to get away for a couple hours to go sightseeing.
Absolutely.
Well, the doggy daycare is right there, just up the road. They're able to take their dog there.
Perfect.
It's so nice to see businesses grow in that aspect. So you've been a part of a mainstay in the part of the village of Youngstown for quite a long time. Quite a long time, and such a supporter of the chamber. We love highlighting you every year for Small Business Day Saturday. It's coming up. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving, but you always do something great that time of the year just to get that shopping, that kick before the holiday season going. Some of the things that you are able to do with Small Business Day, you have open house, you encourage the other businesses to be open, you have some extended hours. Tell us about going into that holiday season, how you approach, just the purchasing, the holiday spirit, getting along with the community, getting everybody just together. You are the cheerleader that time, all year long, but especially that time of the year when it's a hard time of the year, especially for businesses. The tourist season is winding down. We're, getting into those winter months, and you are the mainstay there to make things happen. Tell us how you approach that time of the year.
Jennifer, I'm going to disappoint you right now because you're making it sound like I actually know what I'm doing. And every year it's kind of like, oh, what should we try this time? And so that's it. Every year it's just, what should we do this time? But I'm going to whip this right back at you, is that Small Business Day is the best day of the year. I mean, I love Small Business Day. It is just phenomenal, and it's very, very heartwarming to see people coming in and making a special effort to be there because it's Small Business Day and purposely supporting small business.
Right.
I see that over and over again. And,
Right.
And I want every day to be Small Business
So
Day.
do we.
you know?
So do we.
But it is just really, really good. And again, it's businesses working together, and on Main Street, everybody does work together so well. So if you fly an idea, we had this little idea that let's have gnomes on Main Street at Christmas time. And so went to every business and saying, how about making a gnome, little evergreen gnomes, and just bring a little whimsy and fun to the street during the season, and to support the Christmas in the Village that takes place each year. And everybody hopped right in, you know. And, one other cornerstone of Main Street that's been phenomenal is the Ontario House, aka Stone Jug.
Yes.
They are truly an anchor, and what they've done in creating the amphitheater, the back space there, is just great. One of the things they do is like once a month on Saturdays, and this is year round. In the summer, it's out on the stage. In the winter, it's in their back performance room. They have the students from the local music school come over and perform.
Yes.
So it's just something that really they do so much for the community. And like you were mentioning, the Summer of '69, which I think is just so great. I love the story behind the Summer of '69, but on Saturday nights they come
back to the Stonehouse.
And in the HART organization, HART organization, uses that as a fundraiser there, and it's always been such a great success.
It has.
They also, with the Costello family, really work to give back, having fundraisers for the library, for the hospice, and so on. So
yes,
it's a community working together.
It is. I've played in that with a few bands, played in that back area, and such a phenomenal area right there in the heart of the village, and you can hear music everywhere, and it's great for the entire family to come out.
Yes.
And then Ray is a good friend of mine, Ray Berry with Del Lago Studio.
Yes.
We play together a couple times a year, and then we used to teach in the same area together, lessons. And I love Ray and Melissa doing some wonderful things with students in that in Youngstown.
And this is so much fun, is because I'd met you through the chamber, and then I saw you. I'm seeing this woman up on stage with this violin, and I'm going like, what?
That's my other life. Yes, that's my other
really
life.
Great.
I play weddings, funerals, and occasionally with an Irish band, right?
Yes, yes. I saw you with the Irish band.
Yes,
that's right.
It's a lot of fun, but you never know who you're going to meet and talk to, and sometimes people are very surprised to know. But I've been classically trained violinist since I was age 2, so I've been playing for decades. And yes, it's a little side secret, I guess, that a lot of people still don't know.
Wow.
They are so surprised when I'm up there fiddling away.
Yeah, well, I've seen you in such a different role, and it was just like, wow, this is great.
Yeah,
so,
beer in my hand and a violin in the other, but it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But the back part of the Stonehouse is great. And over just this past December, we had such a treat there because the Garden Club decorated the floors of the Ontario House, Stone Jug, however you want to call it.
AKA, right.
And such a beautiful job was done decorating. And I have been up in that second and third floor before on a tour, but it had been years, and it was so wonderful to see. You forget how historic that building is. And they opened it up to the community to go through, and the Garden Club did such a phenomenal job. I was so impressed. Such a wonderful thing for that community, for everybody. It was just a wonderful thing.
I think I've heard rumors they're going to repeat that again this year, but it'll be,
that happens.
Again, they're coming up with different ideas on how to present the rooms and different stories to tell in the rooms.
Can't wait.
Yes.
Can't wait. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Sue, to join us and talk a little bit about everything Youngstown, not just the store, but the community as well. You can tell it's in your heart. And if you have never been to Everything Youngstown, stop out, even if it is to say hi, just to meet the wonderful people behind Everything Youngstown. And you truly do like to have fun. I think that's what makes the store so successful, is that it's just it's fun. All the items in there, you can tell, are chosen with love, and giving back to the community is such a great thing to do. And, the mission of your store is definitely the spirit of the store as well. So we
Great.
appreciate you. Nobody steal Jake. He needs to stay there for a
Yes.
while.
Yes.
Let's keep him where he needs to be.
Yes.
Thank you, Sue. So we hope everyone can stop at the Village of Youngstown, 435 Main Street, everythingyoungstown.com, where you can find them on social media on their Facebook page, Everything Youngstown. That's where you can find some updated photos, a little bit of some of the items that are sold there, and you can see all of the items that are available. So stop on out, say hi to Sue. You'll probably see Leslie there and a few other people too, and then meander on down the street to, get an ice cream, stop at the diner, pick up some clothes from sister and brother. I'm telling you, if there's a child in your life, you will find that gift at Sister and Brother. And then get a cold beverage, just across the street at the Stone Jug. Thank you, Sue, for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Join us next time on our podcast for Support Local Everything, and we will see you next week.